There's a particular breed that is, I saw it in the US sometimes back. Is it called a pit bull or what?
Yeah, pit bull.
Very dangerous one.
Pit bull.
A killer.
Pit bull.
You know, this just came into my mind even as we were speaking, because I saw a video where it killed the owner, so it had to be killed itself.
Now, I think people make mistakes. The pit bull was originally bred to do what you call bull baiting and dog fighting. So that means they were using, and also some of the pit bull breeds were used to kill vermin like the snakes, rats, small animals. So that means they were using the dogs with the highest drives and the toughest nerves. And if you are getting some kind of a dog, it's not supposed to have somebody who's not a trainer or an experienced dog owner. Training should start from puppyhood, proper socialization. The dog is supposed to know what a no is and stop it. Yeah, so ideally the dog is supposed to be below you in the hierarchy of respect. You're supposed to be the master of the alpha. That way you won't have any issues. Yeah, any dog can be dangerous. Yeah. I haven't seen Labradors which are dangerous. Just depends whether it has been brought up and even the breeding. Yeah. Yes.
As a trainer, now can you take us through what training a dog entails, and for particular purposes, if any, from where you sit? Can you give us, you know, sort of a synopsis of what training a dog really is?
Now, if it's a protection, we start from, if it's dogs which have been bred here, we start from puppyhood before they leave. So you do what you call the tag games, whereby you just play with the puppies, and they are doing the rugs. We'll do that, we've done that in a video. So they just do the tag game. Then from the tag games, you introduce now different sounds. Unaweza piga vikombe, mabati, so the dog gets used. Then from there, it depends now. If the dog has what you call the ball drive, then you can also introduce ball games like ball fetching kind of things, chasing the ball. Then from there you go to what you call a soft sleeve, whereby you introduce now the young dog to a sleeve which is not that hard because it's still teething. It's moving, the teeth are coming off and a bit painful. Then from there it matures a little bit like 7-8 months. Then now you can introduce it to the hard sleeve, which is one either on the left hand or the right hand, depending on the person, the trainer. Then from there now you go to the advanced level, which we introduce the dog to what you call the bite suit, which is worn as a trouser and a coat. But there are other things and skills that you introduce in between, but those are the major ones that we use when you are preparing a dog for protection. If it's a dog that you're preparing for, and which is a new program here for sniffing work, then you make sure the dog has a proper ball drive and what you call, so that with the ball drive it will be used to do what you call a scent discrimination. You'll use the ball to discriminate scent and reward. Then we also make sure the dog has been desensitized against loud sounds and is stable. When people are moving around, other animals are moving around. Yes, so I think that one you'll do it practically. Yes, so that you'll be able to see exactly what we do. Yeah. Yes.
You've talked about guarding and sniffing. That's protection and sniffing.
Yeah, but those are two different areas. Yes. Yeah. But my fort, or rather our fort, is protection training. Yes. Yeah, that's what you are well known of. Yeah.
Kuna yule mtu ununua kadogi anataka tu kukaa kwa nyumba tu maridadi. Huyu pia anahitaji training, especially wadogo, the small dogs ambao Kenya umesema tunaziita chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Any small dog in Kenya
is a chihuahua.
Hiyo ni chihuahua.
Yes.
Any dog needs training. It all depends on the breed. Yeah, for the house dogs, the most important training that they usually need is potty training, because they don't want to get a very good-looking dog.
Mgeni amekuja hapo.
Mgeni amekuja, it has raised its leg, amesusu kwa mgeni. Ama kwa kiatu, Or you don't want a dog, your visitors have come, and maybe they are pastors. From your fellowship. The dog holds somebody's leg, it's humping the leg of the person. You know what humping means?
Yes, I know.
So to avoid that kind of things, it needs proper and early training.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every dog
needs
training.
training. It just depends with the breed and client's needs. For us here, we also tailor make. We also do tailor make the training depending on the client, because there's a client who come and tell you, I want a dog which can defend me in the vehicle, yeah, and also defend me at home, and also defend me when I'm exercising. We tell that person this one, according to assessment, to be able to do ABCD, but beyond this, to be able to do, or we tell that person after assessment, this dog, it's good to do ABCD, this is a good specimen, and we will do that, then you're supposed to pay this amount of yes.
Are all dogs trainable? Like all dogs? You said all dogs need training, but are they all trainable?
No, not all dogs are trainable. The reason being, there are dogs which have, just like human beings, there are dogs which have mental issues. Yeah? There are some, majority you can fix, but you always find 1 out of 1,000 which have a mental issue you cannot fix. Last year, I don't want to mention the breed because there are people who are selling them very expensive, but they are kind of very useless in terms of protection and guarding of homes and people's properties. Last year we had to do away with a beach which had which could not understand any skills. Yeah? It had overstayed at a friend's, a former trainer, not even a former trainer, but a friend. The particular dog had stayed there for 1.5 years, and the girl was not able to train it. So it was brought here in the hope that Wax will do some magic on it. So I was able to do some few things, but in terms of protection, the owner wanted to be a protection dog. It was a very big dog, which this size, almost 75 to 80 kgs. What? The dog could not do anything, and there are times it's like it had a bipolar disease, bipolar condition. At times it used to, the brain used to switch, it would start attacking people, and the next few minutes it's like I'm not the one.
The friendliest.
Yeah. Then we also have another one that we did away some months back. It was a cross. I know it was a Rottweiler and a Labrador cross, and that dog had an issue. The only thing it could do properly is eating, peeing, poo-pooing, and fighting. So the commands, it could not get anything in its head.
But
only 3 commands.
It was a good feeder.
Sit, down, and no. The other things it could not do.
What leads to this? Is it breeding issues?
Mostly.
Ilianzishwa too from the time ilifika ulimwenguni. The first regimes and routines.
Majority which cannot be trained, or rather which cannot change their behavior, is due to genetic issue. Yeah, like there's some few years back, there's a friend of mine who brought here a pedigree Rottweiler with peppers, just like this one, and that dog was so fearful that even the sound of a clicker, somebody clicker, I have a clicker here, clicker. You didn't give me.
What's a clicker?
A clicker, I'll just show you. So the sound of the clicker could distract that dog, the extent that it wanted to run away. And that was a Rottweiler. Just a clack of the sound of it. Yes, sir. So that means the dog had an issue. And by the time the girl was coming, it had come here for boarding. By the time the girl was coming here for the dog, after 2.5 weeks, it could not even remember the guy. And he's the one who bred it. It was already approaching 2 years. That means that particular dog had an issue. And when I asked the guy, when I interrogated him, he told me there is an experienced trainer who had told him not to breed that particular bitch. Meaning that guy knew in the lineage there was an issue. Yeah.
So but the guy decided to go ahead and breed.
Yes, just agreed for money. So that is genetic. Then you also have an environmental. You can have a very good dog, but because maybe the dog was exposed to other dogs which bullied him or her so much, it affected the morale of the dog. Then you can also have a dog which was affected. So this is a clicker.
Okay.
Yeah, this is used to, like I'll explain later, as a bridge to tell the dog you've done well. This is a treat. Yeah. So the other thing is the dog can be bullied by the siblings or other dogs. Then they are left without any punishment, so they just know when you see Bosco, you're supposed to beat him proper. So anytime when you see him outside, just beat him. So that dog will be affected even during training. But there are some, we do a magic here and they come out well. Then the dog can also be affected by the owner. There are people who are...
not good owners.
Yeah, they are not just good with dogs. Somebody just have money, have everything, but the love and the passion for dogs, it's not there. So the guy will be mistreating the dog. Anytime you see the dog, get out the dog. Yeah, kichapo. So that dog will lose morale and you don't trust anybody.
So it's also very important to, ensure that how you relate with the dog, because they have a heart. Yes. They have emotions.
Yes.
They understand.
They understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes they fall into depression themselves.
Very true.
Kuinuliwa pia wakati mwingine when they are low. Yeah.
Very true. Like these dogs, there are days they just wake up, then you're like, hey, iliamkia side ya left ya kitanda because it's really funny. Yeah. There's something. It's not sick, but it's just moody.
Yeah.
Like if it's a bitch, maybe it had been bred and it has conceived. By the second week, start behaving funny. The character will definitely change. If it's a male, maybe there's some bitches around which are on season, which will also affect the character.
Yes.
Yeah, so those have feelings.
Yeah.
It's like human being. Only that I cannot talk. Yes.
Now, talk of clients, because when we were talking earlier off camera, you told me that you have your dogs, but again, you have client dogs that they bring in for you to train and all that. How do you get these clients? How do you get to look at the dog and decide? Because again, you might take in a dog that is going to affect the whole. Is it called a flock of dogs? Is it called?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to affect your dogs that you have here. How do you get a client, evaluate the dog, and say now this is fit to be with the other dogs?
Yeah. Now, when we do just a practical example, just bring me the other dog. How do you call him? Otis. There's a dog which came this morning, and we assessed it. Yeah. We do assessment. When the dog comes here, we usually do an assessment. And with the assessment, there's a form we fill. So with the form, we'll be able to tell from the client's answers, this dog has ABCD kind of issues, and we are supposed to fix this kind of problems and put into the head this kind of skills. And during the assessment, I like to be frank. I'm a Christian, saved guy. I usually like to be frank. You're not after just money. Yeah, it's good if you are training a dog, be frank and tell the person, this one, if it's protection, I'll be eating your money for nothing.
For no good reason.
Yeah, so you'll be spending money for nothing. And if it's no, stupid no. Down, stupid. Down.
That always happens whenever a new dog comes in. Hawa wanainuka tu lazima wapige kelele kidogo.
Lazima wapige kelele because first thing, they've never seen that kind of dog. Then the scent is also different. So after assessment, I'll be able to tell you, your dog, if it's obedience, will be able to push it up to this much. If it's protection, we'll be able to push it to this much. There are clients who have come here with dogs, which are what you call a grade A. Grade A is like this one. Protection, they are very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Extremely good. And after assessment, I tell the client, this one, these are not okay for me in terms of protection. There are some here who bring you dogs which are, in terms of protection instincts, they are grade D. Your grade D, you're pushing.
You can't improve it as much.
So with that one, no, stupid no. So with that one, we will have a tough time. Then after the dog comes here and the client leaves, the dog stays alone. It's on kennel. We assess the dog. If like we put it near like this one, this came in today.
This is Otis.
Yeah, this is Otis. Otis came in today, and from the assessment, he's not an aggressive dog to other dogs. That means you're well socialized. And most likely, he came from a kennel with many dogs. So with Otis, we'll socialize him with the other dogs after a week. So right now, the only thing you're supposed to do for Otis and the other dogs is just to get it scent. The other dogs. So you pass near the other dogs in the kennel, they'll smell it,
Mm-hmm.
they'll look at it, kind of things. We'll also go walks with the new dogs so that they get used to the new dog, and I mean with the current dogs that you have here. And Otis, good boy.
So, you know, like for instance, how old is Otis?
Otis, I was told, is 11 months.
11 months.
He's fairly a big dog. Yes.
There is this notion that we always use, even everywhere, even the politicians use, that you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. How old is this old that you cannot, now when you as a trainer you say, no, this dog is old enough for any new trick?
Now, I usually say this, the only dog that I cannot train is a dead dog.
So you don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that. Because I've trained a 9-year-old dog which was given to me by a friend, and we got used to each other. Initially where it was very aggressive. And when it came here, I never saw that aggression. In fact, you are very well. I even gave it to a friend of mine, but by bad luck, it died early this year, when it was 13 and a half years old, which is a fairly good age for our German Shepherd to leave us. Yeah, he died of old age and complication with the joints. Then the other dog that I cannot train is a dog which has mental issues. And with the mental issues, on the day of assessment, the day one, you just know this one has an issue which cannot be fixed. Yeah, but you rarely find this kind of dogs. You only find maybe a dog which has issues like dog-to-dog aggression, food aggression, food-to-human aggression, food-to-dogs aggression, and maybe other issues like chasing and killing small animal. That means that a dog which is using its high prey drive in the wrong way, and those are issues you're supposed to fix as a trainer. As a trainer, you don't just fix. You don't just teach the dog sit down, whatnot. You're also supposed to be a good animal behaviorist, so that you know this dog, okay, it's obeying the command sit down, whatnot, but it has issues with aggression. So I'm supposed to fix. Yes.
Have you ever turned away a client and said, my friend, thank you, but I just don't want to take your money for nothing. Your dog, I don't think I can do this.
Yes, but feed dogs. I've turned away some clients, and especially those that see me doing proper protection work, then they believe any dog can do protection. Like just last week, there's a guy who was telling me he needs his dog, which is, I think it looks like a Labrador or something. Labrador and I think Japanese Spitz Cross. He wanted to be trained on protection. I cannot train such kind of a dog, simply because the dog is small. It's okay. The coat length is not an issue, because I have some long coats here which have protection training. But the size of the dog, the breed, the guy was not even sure about the breed. I could not take it for training, because the other thing, I'm also looking at the image. If people see me training a Spitz type or a Maltese type of a dog for protection work, then they'll see me as a joker in the market. Because the first quality of a good protection dog is a dog which can scare you just by the size. Yeah, by the size and the other dog looks at you. Yes.
Okay, now how long does a normal training period take for a normal dog, in quotes?
Now, normal training at our facility, we believe if it's a dog which has come from outside, it's a client who brought it, because we also have our own dogs being trained here. We take it to a course of at least 6 weeks. Yeah, because with training, you don't have to do abdacadabra like you are showing people on the internet. 1 week, you have done obedience and protection. That is a lie, because the dog also needs to understand, why am I being trained to bite this place? Why am I being trained to bite this way? Why am I being told to do sit? Why am I being trained in front of people? So it needs a lot of things. So the minimum we take is 6 weeks, depending on the smartness or what you call it. There's some dogs which are we call them talented dogs, like this one. Now, this one you can train it very fast, but at the same time, because a dog with very strong nerves, it needs extra training for control
temperament
purpose. Yeah. So we also have our dogs which, when they came here after assessment, we had projected they would train after 6 weeks or 7 weeks will be done, but overstayed them for 3 months. So that's why I usually say 6 months, 7 months is a minimum. Yeah. And with the dog training, the graph when you're starting to train is usually straight like this when you're starting to train, but in the middle of the training
it dips again.
Yeah, it goes down, it goes up like that. Yeah. Because the dog will also be affected by environmental issues. Maybe if it's a bitch that got into season, so you can't even train it properly because the brains are fixed on breeding, some kind of things. Yeah. If they are males, maybe there's a bitch in season, it gets distracted, kind of things. Yeah. So the mind is focused on, I want to breed.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe the dog is sick kidogo, it has been affected by the change of dog food, so that one also it will also affect the training. But 6 weeks is the minimum, depending on so the training here, it depends on the level you want. Yeah, if you want a dog to be trained for 6 months, then it means you want a military type of a dog. Yeah, so we don't rush, you don't do abracadabra. Yes.
Have you ever trained one for 6 months?
My own, the father to this boy, I think I trained him for more than 6 months because he was mine. And
how good was he after that?
Messi was the best dog I've ever had.
Oh, he's called Messi?
Messi the Destroyer, yes. He was the best dog I've ever had.
Just like Messi the footballer?
Yes, very fast and very sharp, and I mean, it was the best dog I've ever had. But even after that, after losing him, we have had some other dogs. Even the sons here, I have two. This one, Stipe, I'm keeping. The other one is already been taken. I'll show you. It's called Conor McGregor, like the UFC guy. This one is Stipe, still from names of the UFC fighters. Yeah. And they're good. In terms of trainability, they're good.
You need to call one Ronaldo. CR7.
Now, with naming, it's tricky. You're supposed to have at least, you call them syllables, at least 4.
Yeah.
So you can only do Messi, Bravo, Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot say, Tinga, short names. You cannot say Kalokimbiku. That's a dog's name, so it's supposed to be short. Yeah, because ideally when you say, when you say, let's say Kaloki, so the dog will only listen to Ka.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So how a dog can only take 1 or 2 syllables?
Yeah, even with the training commands. Like if you train a dog, you tell it, do you want to go out? So the dog will only listen to either out or do you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now this takes me back then. Now, because I asked you about a curriculum, which you said there is none like a universally accepted one. It depends with the trainer. So for you, when you train, what are some of the words that you use to educate this dog? Even when the owner comes, he'll be able to borrow these words or go with these words and carry on with them. Yeah.
Now, the commands that we use here, they're my own commands. Yeah. Some of them, they have been used universally, but the way I do it differently. Because I've also been trained as an entrepreneur. And with an entrepreneur, you're usually told you're supposed to have a sixth sense. That means you're supposed to think ahead of the other people. Yeah. So I try to use the same commands, English. We use mostly English commands because they are short and they're easy to understand. But when you have a super talented dog like this one, it can learn even 3 types of languages just to perform the same task. Like if it's heel work, you tell the dog heel, you can still tell the dog foos, which means the same thing. If you tell the dog, for example, come on Stipe. So Stipe, this guy is full. So Stipe, if I tell him to down, that's an English command. I can still use the word Platz. That's a German for down. Yeah. Okay, down. So, okay, come on. So, the same. Okay, Platz. Platz. Platz, Stipe. Platz. That's a German for down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So soon I want to also introduce with the plats. You're a bit hesitant because they've just started.
Yeah.
So with time we'll also introduce Czech words. It's for fun. Yeah. But with our clients we only use one language. Yeah, because we don't want to confuse a client. Telling the client you can use plats, you can use Czech, you can
down
use this. Yeah. So we mostly use German. I mean English commands. Yeah.
Can I come with, as a client, can I come with you with a list of words that I would like you to use to train my dog, so that when I go back with my dog, I'll be able to use these specific words?
Yeah, it's possible, but again, the words, or rather the commands you want to use, they must conform to our curriculum of training. Because you can't bring me like you know, the Luo words are a bit short. So if it's Luo words, they're a bit better. But if you have Kikuyu or Luya words, commands, like Ihalasi, you're telling the dog to go down. That's a long command. He's gone down.
It's so mouthful.
Yeah, this guy looks like he knows he's a Luya.
Ihalasi, and it went down.
So it goes down. Now, you can still do that, but I haven't had a request of doing that. But the problem will be, now, myself, I would have an issue because I train many dogs in a day. So you can imagine, I've been training your dog in the Luo. The Luo commands. Then when you come, the same day, I take another dog. You can imagine the confusion. I confuse, I start teaching that dog maybe down, or like sit, I tell it bedka, which is a sit.
Yes.
So it would be rather be confusing. So it's better just use one universal language.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You've said it takes a minimum of 6 weeks or so.
Yes.
It can take as long as the client wants, a year or so, if they want to. Then if it takes for 6 months, say 6 months or so, when I come for my dog, si atakuwa amenisahau huyu dogi, atakuwa anakumbuka kweli ndo mwenyewe.
Now,
atakuwa ameconform with you.
Now, you're right. The dog will have conformed with me. It will have taken me as a master, because in the hierarchy of respect, which dogs are pack animals, they usually place people in hierarchies, or even their own siblings or dogs in the pack. So when I come to a place on the day of delivery, or maybe if you have bought a protection trained dog, you'll come here, we do socialization, we work with the dog, we feed the dog when you're here. Then you will come to a place, we spend there even 1 day or 2 days training. So for us, we print the commands for you. Then each command will tell you what the dog is supposed to do and how it's supposed to do it. Then apart from that, we'll make sure before you leave the place, everybody has understood all the commands. Then what you're supposed to know about dogs, dogs are very loyal to somebody who feeds them. If there was this story about a king who threw a guy in, I think the guy had done a mistake or something.
It is actually in the Bible.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the lion's den?
No, that's different. I'm talking about just a story about a king who threw somebody into a pit where there are dogs, and this guy was feeding the dogs for 10. No, the guy has been given a job to feed. He used to feed the dogs, and one day he did a mistake, and the king wanted to kill him. So the king knew, because the dogs are aggressive, he threw the guy into the pit where the dogs are, and the dogs didn't devour this guy, simply because the guy used to feed them, and he had only fed them for 10 days. And the guy was saying, when he was brought before the king, was asked, how comes the dogs never beat you? And the guy said, I've been working for you for 10 years and you've turned against me, but these dogs, I've only worked with them for 10 days and they are loyal to me. So anytime when you feed a dog, you become a friend to the dog. So when you go to the new client who is not accustomed to the dogs, not social with the dog, the first thing, we train you the commands, then we make sure in your schedule of, you have a schedule of feeding. So today, if it's the husband feeding the dog, we do that. Tomorrow, the wife. The other day, the kids. So the dog will know, this is my boss. This is my new boss. Okay. So if he's feeding me, he's my boss. The other thing, we'll go walks with them. Then we'll also advise them to be walking the dogs on a daily basis and talking to the dog, trying to execute the different commands. So that way, and also you introduce an aspect of rewarding the dog when you are giving the command. So the dog will know if I've obeyed this guy and this guy is rewarding me, he's my friend. If this guy is feeding me because I'm hungry, then he's my friend. If this guy is punishing, maybe he's just done a simple chop like this, no, then it means this is my new master. That way you won't have an issue with the dog. We have never had any issue with any new dog or any dog that has been trained with the clients. However vicious they, unless the dog had a problem, mental problem of which we couldn't have trained it. Yes.
And does it mean that then this is the reason why it's very important to be specific who feeds the dog? Because an enemy can come with food, and because the dog is used to be fed by everyone, then it becomes a friend to an enemy who actually should be, the dog should be protecting you against. Ndio maana nimeona hata leo wakati ulikuwa unawalisha, si kila mtu aliwalisha, na there's a specific way unawalisha. Is there a specific way that hata mimi nitakuwa nalisha dogi wangu, hata mtu mwingine akija kumlisha chakula hata kula kwa sababu si mwenyewe ama si yule mtu friendly wake?
Now, nitasema kwa Kiswahili? Kwa Kiswahili ni sawa?
Kiswahili sawa.
Haya, kama ni kulisha mbwa iko mara mbili. Mbwa anaweza kula either, hiyo swali lako nitajibu mara mbili. Inaweza kuwa pengine wewe umekuja na rafiki yako umwambia Johnny, leo usinilishie huu Rex. Lakini kama ni mbwa ambaye ako smart, atakataa hiyo chakula. Like wangu atakataa. Like hapa Bobo leo ukimjaribu kumpatia chakula hata kwa mkono na kujui atakula. Kama huyu
hata akiwa na njaa namna gani?
Afadhali atakula. Atakata. That's a smart dog. That's why tumesema genetics ni very important, maumbile. Ya pili ni ile mtu anajaribu kupoison mbwa. Hiyo ya kwanza inategemea na mbwa mwenyewe na uhusiano ule ambao create na mbwa. Ya pili ni mtu anajaribu kupatia mbwa wako sumu. Hiyo itadepend na vitu viwili. Ya kwanza training, call it poison proofing training, na tunafanya hapa. Ya pili kwa hiyo ni itadepend na pia mbwa mwenyewe, sababu kuna mbwa mwingine ukimtrain poison proofing ako smart, ako na akili, ako na umakinifu kabisa, atasema nilifundishwa nisikule kitu ambayo imetupwa kutoka juu, kwa hivyo sifai kula. Lakini mwingine atasema
si ni chakula,
wax hayuko, wax hayuko, madama hayuko, hakuna watu hapa wana, si ni nyama, ndio nijaribu, nitapata punishment, alafu afanye nini? Hakuna. So inategemea pia na ile akili ya
dogi
mbwa. Lakini mbwa ambaye umemlea vizuri afai kukula chakula kutoka kwa mtu mwingine. Na ndiposa mimi husema ukiwa na mbwa ambaye ametoka hapa na uko na mfanyikazi ambaye anaenda akirudi, usizoeshe mfanyikazi na huyo mbwa, sababu the same mfanyikazi ndiye ataenda kuambia watu Rex analishangwa hivi na hivi, anapatiwa hizo commands.
Very important. Tunapomalizia tu now, do you train for sale? Do you train for hire or what as a trainer? Do you sell, do you hire dogs? Now, because from there we'll also talk now about how much all this entails.
Now, Wax Canine Academy, our main vision is training protection dogs. That's why in our vision tunasema, motto yetu tunasema, your security starts with us. So it really means that we only train dogs for sale, and we also train dogs which have come from other people.
You don't hire?
We don't hire. Yeah, we don't hire.
There are those who train and they hire. Why from your side? Why do you think hiring is not what you want to do?
Now, most of the people I've seen who are hiring out dogs, I won't say they are, most of them are calling people, but they are doing shoddy kind of a training. In that, in fact, even when they come and they want some kind of dogs, they will tell you, nataka mbwa inaweza stua tu mtu. And remember that dog, we stay with the guard at night. So what if something happens? Maybe attack comes. What will happen to the dog? The dog will run out. The dog, it will run away because it's not properly trained. For me, I like doing my things in a more ideal and perfect manner, so that I have a dog which is like a total package. A dog which is social with kids, a dog which will listen to your commands, proper obedience, a dog which will be able to protect you in whatever circumstance that you be in. When you're in distress, the dog is supposed to protect you, and you are very sure Stipe will protect me in case somebody tries to carjack me. Stipe will do that. Yeah.
You're doing this as business, you know. What are your packages, and what do you charge for your services?
Now, if it's both, and of which most of the clients who come here, they ask for protection training because of burglary issues and robberies, and most of them just to keep their compound safe and their families. They ask for both obedience and protection. So obedience and protection we charge from 40, but soon because of the high cost of living, because we're also buying food for them, they eat either chicken or meat on a daily basis, we'll increase it to around 45. That's a minimum for both obedience and protection, but it also depends with the breed.
40,000. Okay.
40,000. Okay. Yeah, but if it's the big breeds like the mastiffs, then the figures start from 50 because they'll be eating more. If it's a sniffing work, that's a different package, and this is a new project that you're working on.
You haven't developed it yet.
Yes, but if you need your dog to be trained on the different high kind of caliber protection training, then you must dip into your pocket. But it also depends with the type of dog that you have. If it's a skilled dog or a dog which has good brains and you should be able to push it, the talented dog, then you should be able to push it to that level.
In all this that you do, are there challenges that you face that have built you, and challenges that you say that made you better and made what you do better, and that you can also, pass on to people that look up to you, because you are no longer just a trainer, you are a mentor, you said. That you can pass to other generation that want to take root into this kind of business?
Now, do you call them positive challenges? The positive challenges I've had here is people bringing talented but spoiled dogs. So these kind of dogs, I like them because they teach me how to train, they teach me patience, and they teach me how to train new skills. Because if you are going to be training soft dogs all through, then it means the day you get a hard dog, then you'll have issues training the dog and getting to understand the commands. On the other side, the other challenges I've had is high cost of food and scarcity, especially like the starch you're using, either wheat or rice and meat. Then the other challenge that we had is clients who want to bully you, into training their dog for a specific task simply because they have money. So those, I think, those are the major challenges. The other challenge I would say is health issues. There's some clients who bring your dog. The dog stays there for like 1 week. They haven't told the dog had maybe internal issues, but that when it has happened, I think it happens one in 30 or 40 dogs. Maybe the dog has internal issues and the client hasn't told you. So by the second week, third week, when the dog is here for training, you start seeing there's something wrong. So you have to fix it on your side, because you're not sure what was really the issue. Yes.
Have you faced a challenge where a dog has come in and unfortunately it has maybe died in your arms?
To say the truth, it has only happened once. Last year, there's somebody brought you a puppy for training, a Maltese puppy. It was vaccinated against parvo, and by the second week, Initially, I'd refused to take the puppy because it's still very young, but the guy insisted. So when it came here, I think it had already contracted parvo, wherever it was. It was exactly after 1 week that I started seeing signs of parvo. So the dog died for me, but I documented everything from the time it was sick, the treatment, which was on my side, and it still died. We had to, with that kind of infection, you have to either bury it or burn it, because the disease is highly infectious. So nowadays we don't accept any puppy which is less than 6 months and properly vaccinated against, especially parvo, twice or thrice. We don't
so you take the health records from the owner?
Yes. Yeah. So like Otis, who was just coming at the black long-coated shepherd, the owner called me yesterday, he's a doctor. And before, I told him, before you bring the dog here and before you send any money, please send me the vaccination certificate. Yes. If I certify it, I tell you the dog is properly vaccinated, then now we can proceed. Now you can bring the dog tomorrow, we have a physical check over the dog. Because the dog can also be well vaccinated, but physically there's something wrong.
Sasa tunapomalizia bwana, Wax Academy, Wax Canine Academy.
Wax Canine Academy.
Mnapatikana wapi kwenye mtandao? Maana siku hizi biashara ni mtandaoni bwana. Kama mko kwenye mtandao leo hii itabidi muingie. Lakini najua mpo. Unapatikana wapi, social zenu? Watu wanapata namna gani? Hata kama ni physical address, namba zenu za simu. Nafasi ndio hii.
Now, tunapatikana kwa mtandao Facebook. We use the name Oscar Wax.
Camera, angalia camera. Naam.
On Facebook we use the name Oscar Wax or Wax Canine Academy. On Instagram we use the name Wax Canine Academy. And soon, I'm not so sure about TikTok, how it's done, because I think TikTok
you need
mostly about dancing. So
no, it's more than that.
Because
the one behind the camera can train you.
So soon we'll be launching a handle on TikTok. Yes, but the major handles, the names are Oscar Wax and Wax Canine Academy. This one here, or just the back here. This Wax Canine Academy. Yes.
Na mtazamaji, amekuwa mazungumzo mazuri kweli kweli leo hii na bwana Oscar Wax. Jina ulisema Oscar Wax? Wax inamaanisha nini? Wakuloba. Oscar Ochieng Wakuloba, ukipenda muite Oscar Wax ama Wax tu kwa kazi anayoifanya K9 Academy. Manake hapa ndo nyumbani kwa mafunzo ya nini? Ya mbwa. Ukitaka mbwa wako afunzwe vizuri, awe mkali vizuri wa kukutunza, awe mzuri wa nyumbani, basi papa hapa ndio makao, ndio makazi yake Wax. Mtazamaji, ndio funga kazi ya Kazi na Mali. Natumai kwamba umefurahikia, natumai kwamba umejifunza mawili matatu, japo leo tumepiga lugha ya kiungenge tu, manake Oscar anakotoka ni kiungenge tu, lakini naamini kwamba umefaidi mawili matatu. Mimi mpishi mpakuzi ndio funga kazi. Tana atakapojalia Mwenyezi Mungu, zidi kutazama runinga ya KAK TV. Bila shaka utatupata kwenye mitandao yetu KAK TV Kenya, kwenye Facebook, kwenye Twitter, kwenye Instagram, na bila shaka amezungumza bwana Wax mahali utawapata. Just give them a call, give them a tweet, give them an inbox, a DM, na kama unataka umbwa, kama unahitaji mafunzo, basi watakuwa wa kweli kabisa kukupatia usaidizi huo. Sitaki kuongea mengi, nimemaliza. Niite Vincent Kerosi, kwa heri.